Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Red, and in this channel we don't think in black and white, we think in black and red. Welcome to my second video in the Why I Hate Capitalism series. If I could describe capitalism with one word, it would be the topic of this video: greed. Now, why did I choose this specific subtopic to be my next topic in this series? Because I saw on my For You page another influencer starting another fucking stupid thing aside from their main gig, and I think I just had enough. Why do influencers and just famous people in general feel like they need to go into all of these other spaces? For example, influencers who I don't know, TikTokers who got popular off of posting TikToks, they would suddenly go into music and podcasting and merch and makeup lines and all these fucking things. And actors would drop a merch line and a makeup line, a fragrance line. All of these fucking endeavors that just are. Oh, and books. Don't even get me fucking started on people dropping fucking books. All these YouTuber books that were so fucking popular in the 2010s, just YouTubers dropping fucking books just to add New York Times bestseller in their fucking bio. The only celebrity book that I've actually liked and felt like it was necessary was Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mother's Dead, or how I'm glad my mother died, I think. Sure, there are a couple more others that I personally have not read, but aside from those who actually have some sort of story to tell, all these people just dropping books for a quick cash grab. Like, they're not even writing the books themselves. Back to my original question. Why are these fucking influencers going into every fucking endeavor that is? Oh, it's because they're greedy. Even though they make a fuck ton of money already, they want to fucking, I don't know, get another fucking huge amount of cash off of this fucking product. I don't know. And it fucking pisses me off because, you already make so much money. Why do you keep needing to shove products down our throat and more things for the consumer to buy just so you could line your pockets with a bit more cash? I feel like I've started kind of backwards. Instead of going from the past to the present, I've started in the present and now I'm going to the past. Yeah, so after the Industrial Revolution, when a bunch of factories started to work, they would barely get enough fucking money to live. The first time some sort of law about minimum wage was instituted or established in the US was in 1933. Do you realize how late that is? Just to give you some kind of perspective, the Industrial Revolution started in Britain around 1760. Yeah. And in the US, the first fucking law about minimum wage was in 1933. That's not that fucking long ago. Less than 100 years ago. And by the way, that first fucking law wasn't deemed to be constitutional, so it was overturned later, and I don't fucking know, I won't get into that. But before that, owners of fucking factories and whatever, they could pay their workers literally next to nothing. They could pay them literally nothing and get away with it because there were no laws against that. And they would have continued if it wasn't for riots in the streets and people getting killed because they wanted to get paid minimum wage, a livable wage, which, by the way, is not that fucking livable as it is. But whatever, we're not even gonna get into that. And yet, when people are barely getting livable wage nowadays, all these influencers and celebrities and rich people just want to make more fucking money. I find that pretty fucking disgusting. Take Taylor Swift, for example. What, with her releasing a bunch of fucking CD variations and album variations and and vinyl variations just to what, get more fucking money? Or that one time where she released something specific to England just to block Charlie XCX from getting the #1 album in England in the billboards or whatever? Supposedly her cover was because she had a show in England at the time for her Eras tour. Yeah, fucking right. You just wanted to block that fucking number because, I don't know, I guess you feel threatened even though you're the fucking queen of the pop girls right now. There's no one who makes more than you in the pop genre, and I think in music in general right now. And you're fucking worried over Charlie XCX? There's no excuse for this. This is just plain old greed. You're just greedy. The more fucking money someone has, the more greedy they are. The more they're scared of losing their money. I shouldn't say scared, but the more they just want to hoard all their money. Back when I was in school, I had a couple assignments of just speaking about important people in the world or whatever, and I remember choosing twice to talk about Elon Musk, and not because I fucking like that asshole, but because I fucking hate him with every fucking fiber of my being. God, I was the amount of hatred I have for this man. I literally made an entire script. I'm going to read you an excerpt from my fucking script that I made about why I hate Elon Musk. So, I'm going to talk about this fucking thing. This whole thing started David Beasley, or whatever his fucking last name is, which he is the UN's food program director since 2017, and it all started when he wrote to Elon Musk on Twitter, congratulations, when Elon passed Jeff Bezos as the richest billionaire in the world or whatever. He also said David also said in an interview that it's a billionaire's job to step now on a one-time basis to help solve world hunger. He addressed Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos specifically. He said that giving $6 billion, which is 2% of Musk's net worth at the time of me writing that script, could help solve world hunger. Musk responded on Twitter saying that if they give him and the public a detailed plan of where the money is going and how it would solve world hunger, he would do it. He would sell some of his stock in Tesla to get that money because that's his net worth. It's not meaning physical money that he has. And he would do it. He would pay the $6 billion and he would help solve world hunger. So, a while after the conversation, Beasley sent Elon an incredibly detailed plan that accounted for every penny, to which Musk didn't reply, and that ended the whole thing. Yeah, this still fucking bothers me all these years later because this plan was worked it was a physical fucking plan, and all he had to do was sell some of his stock and pay that to help millions of people, and he couldn't do it. Why? We may never know. I mean, I could guess that it's because of his fucking greed, but we may never know what goes on in his fucking ass head. Shit, I need to stop cursing this fucking much, but I can't. This pisses me off. I have so much material, I could literally make an entire fucking video just on Elon Musk alone. But all these billionaires, they could not, it is not possible for you to get even $1 million ethically without some person being stepped on. Because let's say you own a company, right? If you paid every one of your workers an above average livable wage without hoarding all the money for yourself and paying them less, you would never get to $1 million. Or for this example, you would never get to $1 billion. So all these people who have way more way more than $1 billion, which is still an incomprehensible number. Like, I know you think you can wrap your mind around it, but you can't. It's such a big number. They have way more than that. 6 billion at the time was not even 2% of his net worth. And yes, I know that net worth is not actually physical money that he has, but it's all his assets combined. You could never spend this amount of money in your lifetime. Even if you spend $1 million every single day of your life, you would never spend the amount of money that they have. This is an inhumane amount of money that they just hoard. They just hoard for no fucking reason. There's no reason why one person should have this much money. And then people say, oh, but they donate a lot of money to charity. No, they don't, because if you look at how much their net worth is and look at how much they're donating pennies to them. Because they have so much fucking money. To you, to a normal person, that looks like a lot of money. But it doesn't even scratch the amount of money that they have. It doesn't come to a single hair of what they have, the amount of wealth that these people have. And all of this wealth that could help so many people in the world is just being kept by a couple people and hoarded. Why? Because of greed. All these people are greedy. They're so fucking greedy. There's a special place in hell for them, and I don't even believe in the concept of hell. And I know that, like, having ambition is a normal human thing. I just jumped back to the influencer topic, by the way. Because when you have a bunch of money, the bunch of money that you have becomes your baseline. If you were at a baseline where you didn't have a lot of money, you were living check to check, and then you finally got to the point where you don't have to think about your next check, eventually that feeling of not having to worry about your next check, that becomes your baseline. That lowers the amount of happiness you once got. I'm trying to explain it, but it's kind of hard because you can't really see what I'm doing. But I'm going to try anyways. I actually have to re-record this section because when I go off the dome, it's not working well for me. Let's say you're really poor, okay? And you're so poor to the point where you don't even know each day where you're gonna get the money to have 3 meals a day. Okay? So, whenever you do have enough money to eat 3 meals a day, you're really happy because you're so used to not having enough money to eat 3 meals a day. But let's say you now get more money, you got to the point where eating 3 meals a day becomes normal to you. So now whenever you do eat 3 meals a day, you don't get that happy anymore because that's your baseline. It lowered your baseline. And the same goes for when you start poor and then you get rich. When you finally have enough money, you're super happy because it's above your baseline for happiness. But then your baseline gets lowered because you get used to the fact that you have a lot of money. You're used to the fact that you have X amount of money. So whenever you do have that X amount of money, you're not happy anymore because you're regular. You're used to that. And that's what these influencers are doing with all these brand deals they're taking, the music that they're trying to drop, the fragrance line they're dropping, their makeup line that they're dropping, their merch line that they're dropping. They're trying to add to their baseline because they got used to having a bunch of money as their baseline. But that amount of money is so high. There are people who are happy to know that they're not worried about their food for the day. Because this topic is so important, I just want to make sure that I'm explaining myself in the best way that I can. So once again, I'm re-recording this section. One thing people can say to my argument is that, does that make their feelings or their problems any less valid just because they have money? And to that I say, in general, there's always someone who is going to be worse off than you. There's always someone who's going to be also better than you. That's just life. For example, my parents would always use that against me. Whenever I would tell them or share with them the fact that I was depressed, for example, or all these feelings that I was feeling and all the problems that I had growing up, they would say, well, there are people who don't have a home, or there are people who don't have food in their fridge. And they were trying to make me feel like my feelings were invalid just because I was privileged in that area. And yes, I was privileged, but that doesn't mean that my feelings are invalid. There's enough room in this for multiple shades of gray, which is surprising coming from someone who has a tendency to think in black and white. I acknowledge that. But back to those people, once you reach a certain amount of richness, I don't feel bad for you. And I'm sorry for that, but I'm actually not. Because let's say, for example, and I'm going to take a really bad situation or whatever, an extreme example. If one of the multi-billionaires that there are in this world gets, let's say, cancer or whatever, am I going to feel bad for them or their family and whatnot? Not really, because they have access to the most advanced healthcare that is. And when people say money can't fix your problems, yes, it can. Money can get you therapy, something that I think, personally, every single person in this world needs. Whether it is just as a person to share your feelings to, or someone to actually process your trauma through. I think every single person needs a therapist, but that's a whole nother topic. But a lot of people can't do that because they don't have enough fucking money. Money saves you stress. When you have money, you don't have to worry about rent. You don't have to worry about having enough money for food. You don't have to worry about vet bills, if you have pets, that is. You don't have to worry about healthcare bills, which are really fucking expensive. And you know that if, let's say, a fucking horrible situation comes down upon you, you have enough money to not worry about that, to be able to handle whatever situation comes your way. And that is a privilege. So if you're a person who is rich or is a fucking billionaire, I'm not gonna have any sympathy for you when you're going through your fucking problems. Like I said before, there's no ethical way you could get that high levels amount of money by not ripping people off, by not scamming your way to the top. So, sorry if I don't fucking care about your problems because you have a fucking $1 billion or even more. And the way they're still not happy with the amount of money that they have. I've heard that Dolly Parton, the singer, could have been a millionaire or a billionaire by now, but she wasn't because she just kept donating to charity. And that's what I think all of these people should do, because she is still living very fucking comfortably. You have more than enough of amount of money to set you up to live comfortably, more than comfortably, for the rest of your goddamn life, but you still choose to try to get more money in ways that are not ethical, scamming the people that allowed you to get that amount of money in the first place, just for what? Have more money? Greed is the root of all evil. Everything bad in this world, you could all make it go back to one thing: greed. I didn't really have a direction that I knew I wanted to take this video in. I really was just so fucking pissed off that I was just like, fuck it, I have to record this shit. I know what my next topic is going to be and I have to record it now. So I got up out of bed and I went and I sat down and I recorded this. If you've made it this far, thank you. And if you want to consider subscribing, go ahead and consider. You could do that, you could not do that, whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I may or may not see you in my next video. Goodbye.